You can build a business, you can raise babies, you can survive the teenage years, and sometimes you could do it all at once.
Today's guest is living proof that motherhood doesn't fit into one neat box, and neither does success.
She's been a biological mom, an adoptive mom, a stepmom, a grandmother, and a mentor to thousands of women. This episode isn't really about business, it's about becoming her through the strength of motherhood. Welcome back to Glow Up and Grow Up, the podcast where we talk about evolving as women, emotionally, financially, relationally, and in every messy, beautiful season.
I'm Stacy.
And I'm Caitlin, and today's episode is a really special one.
Our guest is not just special to us personally, but to thousands. She is not only the founder of LuLaRoe, but today we're focusing less on the brand and more on the women behind it. A mom of 14, a grandmother many times over, and sometimes has lived just about every version of motherhood there is.
Yes. So we today have the founder and president of LuLaRoe. It is a multi-billion-dollar fashion brand that is focused on comfort, confidence, and community. She operates one of the largest female-led entrepreneurial networks in modern retail, which is huge. On top of that, she has pioneered the direct-to-consumer clothing model that empowers tens of thousands of independent retailers across the U.S. She spearheads the design and launch of size-inclusive, on-trend fashion lines for women. She is a passionate advocate for women's empowerment through business ownership and financial independence. She is a sought-after public speaker known for inspiring talks on entrepreneurship, leadership, and resilience. She's a longtime corporate sponsor and partner of charitable organizations focused on family and community impact. She's a committee member and coach to emerging female leaders and small business owners. She is featured in national media for her innovative approach to social selling and brand building, and she has been recognized for cultivating a purpose-driven culture rooted in family, values, resilience, and personal growth. She has been a mentor to both Stacy and I, and she is a mom to thousands of women all across the country. We would like to welcome DeAnne Stidham. Woo!
Yay!
DeAnne, we are so honored to have you here today.
Oh,
We really are.
I feel so honored. I mean, I've heard all about your podcast, and I've known a few people that have been on your podcast. And when you asked me, I was like, I feel honored. I mean, really.
You were actually the first guest we thought of. We're like, we need to have DeAnne on immediately.
You were our first big goal,
yes.
Our dream guest. So we're very excited.
Me too.
All right.
I think if, before we get started, just if anyone has ever been in your presence, you're such a light, you're such an inspiration. And we are just so excited that you're here and that hopefully more people get to know you and know how amazing you are. And I so miss you.
Oh my gosh, we've got to get together more.
I know.
It happens, and then pretty soon you lose that opportunity of just putting it on your calendar. And so we'll get together because we're only 3.5 hours apart.
Steve. I know. It's like a quick jump away.
I know. It's crazy.
I love it. So when Stacy and I talked about what we wanted for DeAnne on the podcast, it's so easy to just talk about LuLaRoe, but something that we have always admired about you, DeAnne, is what a great mom you are and how you've always put your family first. And that has been something that we have both learned a lot from you. So that is kind of where we wanted to focus today's podcast. You could Google LuLaRoe. We can talk about it all day, but you being such a great mom, I think will help our listeners beyond. They're women just like all three of us, moms. They're working, they're doing all of the things. So we're excited to get into this conversation. You grew up in a family of 11 children with a mother who was also a powerhouse entrepreneur. So as a young girl, did you ever feel like you had to choose between being a wife and a mother and having your dreams, or did you always know you could have it all?
Honestly, watching my own mother, because she was a rock star, it was difficult for us it's always difficult when you lose a parent. But when she passed away, we all thought, oh no, that our family's going to crash and burn. And, it didn't, because she gave all the foundation. She led and taught and took every opportunity to sit with us, especially the girls. She had 8 girls and 3 sons, mom and dad. Dad took care of the guys, helped with the family business. But when it came to all of us, she instilled in us how wonderful it is to be a mother. And that is the greatest calling that we can ever have if that's what we choose to be. And honestly, being an aunt, being a stepmom, all of those things, they are in that same category. And it's loving one another. So I believe, being raised the 10th child of 11, that I knew from a very early age that I wanted to be a mom.
Did you know that you could be a mom and run a company at the same time, or did you think that you had to choose like one or the other?
Well, in the beginning, you have your aspirations and you dream about, oh my goodness, I am going to only be a mother. I'm going to stay at home and do all those things. The problem is you get married and there's financial, what do you call it? Squeezed. And people, especially when you're young, you have these aspirations, but if you don't have the money and the finances, then it makes it very difficult. So as we grew, I had my first child, then my second child, and finances were tight, and I didn't like it. I mean, I want to spend money. I want to go to shopping at TJ Maxx or Ross or whatever, um, and I couldn't take away from the family business, the family finances, because I knew my husband was working really, really hard, and I needed to take care of what I could do, like do my own role. And I just didn't. One day, I mean, I kept thinking over and over. It wasn't just one day, but you think to yourself over and over and over, what is it that I can do that can bring in an extra set of money, extra finances, so it doesn't put pressure on my husband? And, it was great back in the early days. My oldest son is 46, so you can imagine. So back then, all of a sudden, various things started popping up, whether it was jewelry, selling jewelry with the catalog, and we all did pop-ups and parties, and it was kitchen supplies and any way that would get women and men, I mean, but mostly women, they gathered together, and we were able to talk and visit and have a cup of coffee, or some women went to have a glass of wine, and they got gathered and they shopped from a catalog. And I just thought, surely I could do that. But it didn't really motivate me yet. I went, I attended, but I didn't sell. And it wasn't until I started a children's performing group, I thought, okay, I can do that. I can get my kids up on stage. I can get them all excited about performing. And I knew that that was something that I could gather neighbor children and start charging money so that they could come. And I ended up with a group of like 60 kids, anywhere from the age of 3 all the way up to age 15. And I brought home money. I worked 1 day to 2 days a week, and I was able to do choreography at home with my kids. And oftentimes it was in front of the bathroom mirror, or even the wardrobe mirror. I had mirrors in my bedroom so that I could teach myself actions. And you know what? Where there is a will, there is a way. And I wanted extra money. We moved into our first new little house. I'd just given birth to Kenny, my oldest is 46, and I was so excited about furnishing that house, and there wasn't extras. I knew the pressure that my husband was feeling, and I thought, I don't know if I can say, hey, I need an extra 500, or I want a new washer and dryer, or I want a refrigerator. But I will tell you, where there is a will, there is a way. And when I needed a washer and dryer, you know what I did? I went to a clearance sale of a laundromat, and I bought a washer and a dryer from a laundromat that was coin operated. You guys, you don't imagine how crazy that was. But hey, it was industrious. It was an industrial washer and dryer.
I
And
love that. I love it. I just told my husband the other night, I need to start doing house projects because it'll make me work more. Because
Yeah.
if I want to redo the dining room, then I'll work harder to make the money to redo the dining room. And he was like, if
Yes,
that's what you need, go for it.
That
that's
that that
right.
does work for Caitlin. She's got to have a goal
Yeah.
to
Oh,
get her
I
going.
love it. I love it for you to do that.
So we've all had those 3 a.m. moments where you're holding a baby and wondering if you're doing any of this right. How do you handle that loneliness as a young mom? And what did you tell yourself to survive those long sleepless nights?
Well, first, you just got to let it rip. You just got to cry. I mean, if you feel like it and the emotions are there because we're overwhelmed, because I will tell you, most women are feeling overwhelmed. And whether it's no matter what stage in life you do. And I want to give permission that it's okay to cry. And because once we cry, it's, I mean, like it's when we talk to a friend or we talk to a spouse. Um, Once you let it out, all of a sudden you feel better and you can dissect what you need to do. Basically, it's like nobody else is going to do my job for me. I mean, honestly, there are a lot of people, you know, and that can do your job. But we as women, we are determined and we want the best for our family. And so we'll let it out. We cry and then we dust ourselves off and we get up and the next morning we make a plan because after we've cried I love that holding a baby at 3 a.m. with a high fever and okay, and back in my day if you they didn't have urgent cares, you couldn't just go, you
Yeah.
had to drive. And for me, I lived in Utah, southern Salt Lake, and it was a 45-minute drive. So if I could do anything, it was what can I do at home first to do the home remedies. And I had a lot of people on my team, my what do they call it? It takes a village to raise a child.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Having 7 sisters, they all had a lot of children, me being the 10th, and I have a twin sister that is number 11. And so we had a lot of other mothers that were giving good advice and, okay, try this, okay, try that, try this. We didn't have WebMD. So it was good. We had call a sister MD. And that was good.
Call a sister. So DeAnne said it here. You have permission to cry. Permission to cry. Get
Yeah.
back up and go put a plan in place.
I love it. I love it. And it's so easy to lose yourself in that phase of life. DeAnne, how did you keep your identity alive? Like, what was one small thing that you did for DeAnne, something that reminded you that you are more than just a mom in that baby phase?
Well, first, I want to reiterate, I did. I got up, I got dressed, and I knew that if I got myself ready fast, that I could conquer of so many other things. And there's a saying I've heard military guys on reels say that get up and make your bed. It's the best thing for you. Do that first, and it does. It makes a difference. And then getting ourselves together. I will tell you, when I've been in sweat clothes or gym clothes all day long, I just feel like I'm lost. I didn't get my schedule. Wasn't able to. And I'm here to tell you that I got to have the little square next to the thing that I'm doing. And I don't really check it off. I love to scratch out what I've done. But
Yeah, nothing feels better than scratching that off, being like,
Yep.
I did
Check
it,
it
I
off.
did it, I did it.
so to identify me again, I was raised an identical twin. Diane and I dressed alike all the way until we got to college. And I'll tell you why. We were cheerleaders and everybody got a kick out of us and we became really popular. Well,
I can't. I bet you were.
well, when you do
I can
that,
picture it.
it's hard because you blend and you do lose your identity. And so
Yeah.
we even had a double wedding, you guys. I mean, it was crazy awesome. And
I did not know that.
yeah, I got engaged, and Diane got engaged 3 months later. And my mom said, "Oh no, I'm not putting on weddings 3 months apart from each other. we're going to do one big wedding. And her and dad were big caterers in Pasadena, California. And they, oh, it was their party. And it was okay because I think she sent out 1,000 invitations and it was a huge deal, but perfect. Anyway,
But that
now
that also though probably made you feel alone when you're always with your twin, you're always doing all this stuff, you have this big family, and then you get married and have babies, and now it's just you and this baby at 3 a.m. Like
exactly. And I,
that, how do you keep your identity in that? Because everything you knew is now different.
it is. And so I was talking and I was saying that going to the grocery store was such a big treat to me because I could leave and even going to TJ Maxx or Nordstrom Rack or anything because the mall was far away. So I wanted a quick trip. It was just down the street. I could do these things. And honestly, being dressed up, I had people that complimented me and, oh, well, how are you doing, Mrs. Stidham? How are you doing? What are you doing? And it gave me a chance to do my own thing. We also had opportunity. Nails were starting. And I tried to do them myself, and that was not a good thing. So, you find your own projects that you feel like you're good at, beading,
So,
cute beads or whatever. Yeah.
so DeAnne, I've been in a lot of trainings with you, and you have always told all the women that you're training with to get up and get ready. You've always said that because you'll feel better about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing you've said that always that made me laugh, that's true, is if you're depressed, you don't have enough to do.
Right.
I
mean, it is true.
Get up and get your list out. Because
yeah,
you feel like you have ought to do this and this and this. You feel like you're really important. You have things.
Yeah.
Like I said, people, when they would call me, my mother-in-law would call me. This is when I was living in Utah and I had my little kids, and she was a busy mother of 9 and made her own bread. And I mean, she ground her own wheat. And I mean, she was a rock star, way better than I was. I canned a lot once there. Once I got to California, I went, hallelujah, I don't have to do that. She would call me and say, so what are you doing today? And it was like, I don't know. I don't have anything to do. I mean, honestly, my whole schedule was hurry quick and put the babies down so I could watch General Hospital, the soap opera, and fold my clothes. That was the big highlight of my day. And then hurry and plan dinner. And then my husband would walk in the door. I mean, those are the days. You do what you do until you progress. So
I love that. And so to transition a little, you went from 4 babies to 7 babies very quickly. So you adopted several children from Romania. How did welcoming other children, like the children from another country, reshape that family as you're starting to, I would imagine after 4 babies, you're really starting to get into a groove. And now you bring 3 more in at one time. How did that change everything?
it was crazy. I am not kidding you. It was so crazy. I brought them home. I'm going to tell you, I was overwhelmed. I couldn't blame anybody but myself. I chose it. People have surprise pregnancies, like our daughter, Anna, had twins and she didn't plan that. I planned it. I went to Romania and they gave me I planned on just 2. And then when I was leaving, they said that I had been approved for 3. And I'm like, what do? You can't take that gift and say, no, I don't want it. And so, of course, I brought home a 3-day-old baby girl, a 5-day-old baby boy, and a 15-month-old toddler that hadn't started walking yet. So I had babies everywhere when I was getting to the airport. And you know what? You just do it. You make it happen and you find the strength in what you do. But I will tell you, those babies, my kids at home were so excited. We made a call once a week. It is astounding. The phone system that they had in Romania was so archaic and behind because it was communist for 25 years. And so I would call home and I would talk to my kids at home, and they knew this was exciting. And I made a positive opportunity so that my kids did not get negative about that at all. And I wouldn't have it. I'm like, no, these are our children. This
Now,
is your
how old was
brother's
your
life.
youngest? How old was your youngest when the babies came home with you?
So my youngest biological was 2.5. And I would like to say that he was out of diapers, but on occasion, I'm in nighttime diapers and stuff. You guys, I had 4 babies in diapers. Can you imagine? And bottles.
No,
No.
no, I can't. No, I
I
can't.
mean, my youngest baby boy that was 5 days old, he got to the age as he was getting enough that he could find his own binky in his crib, and he had 3, one in his mouth, one in his each hand, and I'm like, I don't care, it's all good, you can do that. So
You probably learned to let go of a lot of control in that situation.
you do.
Like,
You
I would imagine
it's all
all the
good.
laundry was probably not done.
Oh
I would
well,
imagine that.
it was.
I
I was so blessed, you guys. Honestly, um, we had hired. Somebody brought a couple of gals from a foreign country, and called me one day and said, "Hey, can you use a housekeeper?" And I'm thinking, "No, I'm good. I'm good." Well, before I had left, I had a live-in housekeeper, and she would go to visit her family on Saturday and Sunday, but she was home with me. She couldn't speak any English, and I couldn't speak Spanish. I had a husband that spoke Spanish, and it was a blessing because you know what? She got a lot done. She could just do all the things that I didn't want to do and let me be a mom, and that was such a blessing. So if you can hire someone that once a week or once every other week to come and help you do the things that you don't like to do. In fact, one of my daughter-in-laws asked for Christmas if she could get her house cleaned 2 times, not just once, but Mom, can I get 2 times? And I said, yes, perfect gift. So it was so cute that she wanted that.
It is.
and you're blessing them, and you're blessing
Yes.
them
Yeah.
with the job.
That's something else we learned from you a lot, is that
Mm-hmm.
outsourcing things that you don't have to do is actually blessing someone else's business. It's not you just being selfish or not having time. It's actually helping someone else's small business. And that's something that Stacy and I always talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
It is so
Yeah,
important.
I don't think I realized. I knew you had adoptive kids. I don't think I realized that they all came over at the same time, and they were so young.
I didn't realize they were so like days old. I
Yeah,
thought that they
I
were,
didn't realize that.
15 months
No.
to
Yeah,
a year,
Yeah.
2 years.
I thought they were staggered. I didn't realize you were dealing with 4 little babies
Because
actually. 'Cause, yeah,
Lufthansa, I mean, we should have been in the news trying to get those babies in on the plane with all the paraphernalia, all the
yeah.
diapers and everything, and just get that 13-hour flight. Can you imagine the crying? But they didn't. They were good
No.
babies. And I
13 hours with 3
They had
babies.
bassinets. I didn't know, but it was so cool back then. They had bassinets that you would, in the very front row, and it would come down, and you could put your babies in there. So I put both babies in that one bassinet, the 2
Oh,
small
wow.
ones.
Thank God for that. Like,
Yeah,
that's very helpful.
they were happy to be together. So it worked out good. I was right there with them. So
All right. When kids are little, you can control most things like a snack, a nap. But as teenagers, it's a whole different ballgame. How did you transition from managing your kids' lives to guiding them to be like teenage years?
people always say how awful teenage years are. I did not experience that. I I did with 2 of my kids, but for the most part, I feel like
There's always one.
yes,
There's always one.
yep. And I wanted to say that so we can rephrase that. Let's see. Um, people don't people comment about how hard it is to raise teenagers, and for the most part, for me, we did okay until later years. Kids that are adopted, they just sometimes can come with their own set of emotional baggage of abandonment and fear and not feeling loved. And, you know, I didn't get equipped back then. It's going on 34, almost 35 years, you guys. Michael is 35.
Wow.
That's really,
Wow.
and Daniela's turning 35 in April this year. And 35 years, we had books, but we didn't have the internet to get advice and everything. And I went into counseling. I got what I could, but I needed to just let them be and just love them. And that was the biggest key right there. Because they felt that they weren't as good as the other kids. And we just needed to reassure over and over and over. And it's a transition that if you're happy and you can strive to happy, but honestly, they need rules, they need freedom. I just said that's kind of a, what do you call it? Yin and yang. They need
Mm-hmm.
rules to know what, because they're teenagers and they're goofy and they're fun and naughty and they think that they can do this and that until you've taught them. And once you've taught them, then you go, okay, we have to have discipline and I don't like discipline. But they need it. They need to know that there is a parameter and you don't go over that parameter. And when they do, they're going to find themselves struggling themselves. They don't even need us to tell them, because they come to us and they tell us, okay, I'm falling apart or I'm not doing it well, or, all of those things. I mean, I think both of you have teenagers. Stacey, I don't know how old your son is now. He's got to be.
He's 23 now.
He's a young adult. Oh my gosh.
Uh-huh.
He said
Yeah.
that young adults are tougher than teenagers. You wait for it, Caitlin.
I mean, we have the two that live with us. One turned 18
mhm.
a couple days ago, and the youngest is 16. So we're heading into those years.
Yep, you're going
It's
through it. And the biggest thing I
fun.
want to tell anybody that's listening here is take time with your teenagers. Go lay next to them. Listen to them, because their teenage years go by so fast. And you're so wound up as a mom in what they're not doing or what they're doing wrong, to not take time to say, let's go. I'm going to go in and lay down. Even dad. I mean, I'm talking fully clothed on the bed next to them, so that they, and you know what? I got advice from a good friend that said, you know what? Talk about when they were babies. They love to hear funny
Mhm.
stories about themselves and what, tell me again, mom, tell me about this, tell me about that. So, it keeps them grounded and it helps them to feel important.
Yeah, those
I love
teenagers really
that.
have it tough right now. It's, with the social media, none of us had that really when we were a teenager, and the compare, and I mean, it's a different world, and I really struggle, like feel bad for some of these teenagers, what they have to go through. Just, it's tough.
Yes, and I watched something on a reel about grandmothers, and I'm like, okay, I'm the grandma now. I'm going to do all those things that they said and take charge. And if I need to help guide and direct, then that's what I'm going to do. So,
Yeah.
I love that. In those rebellious moments, or when I'm sure that there was fights in your house with 7 kids, I'm sure the kids fought. I'm sure that there was rebellious moments. How did you keep your cool? Like, how did you just maintain yourself? Or did you not? That's okay too.
well, yeah, no, I flipped out. I mean, female
Yeah.
hormones, sorry. It's just all of a sudden it was like, okay, I asked you to pick up. I asked you to pick up. I asked you to pick up. By about the 5th time, and they're glued to the TV. That's when you turn the TV off and you go, get it done. And they, oh my gosh, mom's bad.
She's going to lose it. She's going to lose it.
Yes. And they,
Yep.
they did it. And I did all the job charts and, job schedules, and they did good, but I hated them. I hated them because then I had to be responsible to make sure that they got their job done, because they never looked at their job. It's not me. It's not me. No, it's not me. So, But yeah, yeah.
Well, and I feel like sometimes those job charts just add extra chaos of, well, she didn't do her job and his job's not done yet. And I did that. Sometimes they're just like, all right, everyone just go clean something.
Yes. You know what my mom did? It was so fun. She would write all the jobs down that needed to get done before we were going to go out, whether it was going to 31 flavors, because we had 31 flavors back then, you know, 31 flavors, or get an ice cream cone. My favorite was soft ice cream. So even to this day, I am a big McDonald's. I do. Sometimes I have to just go get an ice cream cone because,
I love
life is a little stressful and it's a little happy. And so, but anyway, so she would write the job down, and then she took a pair of scissors and cut those jobs, and she turned them upside down on, laid them all on the table. And she said, okay, you all get to pick your job. And she would count kids, and okay, well, we need 2 jobs each. So go get your job. And mom just said, this is what we're doing. And if you want to go with me, and she would make it like a race. And she would go, okay, I'm going to set the timer on the stove. And when you're done in 30 minutes, because they were simple things like go get the towels out of this bathroom and take them down to the laundry room, or empty the trash in the bathrooms. And you know they were wonderful things that we learned how to work, and the we figured it out.
blending a family, especially with teenagers, is definitely high stakes balancing act. How did you bring in stepchildren once you met Mark into now? Again, you've probably perfected 7 kids, and now you're bringing in more. So how did that work, and how did you earn their trust without overstepping? Because that is a world that I am very familiar with now.
Oh my gosh. Well,
Yes.
I first want to say and give advice about teenagers real quick, because I
Yeah.
went there. I went to a conference once, and this guy taught the color code. It was like, the various colors about the personalities. And it was really helpful for me because each of my kids were so different and unique. And I needed to figure out how to get them to trust me, and because I couldn't treat this child the way I treated this child. But he said something very profound. He said, because one of the colors was yellow. Yellow is the partier, the person that just, okay, and you can't get them to clean their room. And uh, one of my children, and if once I'm not gonna say their name, but Caitlin, you'll know, and I'm sure Stacy would know that one of them came home one day, and he was in 5th grade, and he got like most D's. And it was like the progress report. Hey, we sent home to the parents and got most D's. And he turned to me and he goes, Mom, D's good. It's the 4th letter in the alphabet, and at least it's not an F. And I went, okay, dude, I know that you think that's okay, but it's not okay. So A's and B's are way better than D's. So we're going to work on that. But you know what? And also, he said teenagers want to be adored. That's all they want. Every one of them, whether it doesn't matter what color they want to be adored. They want you to think that they're amazing, and that everything they do is like like ribbons and roses and confetti, and they want you to say, oh my gosh, tell me about your day, how is everything? And it's hard because they do fight depression, but we've got to
Mhm.
bring back the happy and let them know and give them permission not to worry, that you know what, life is all good, life is wonderful, and you're gonna date this boy and then not date him, date this girl and not date. And my oldest has got a daughter. I've got 2 granddaughters that are turning 16 in April. Can you?
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
Those 2 granddaughters are turning 16. So my oldest son took his kids snowboarding, and she got stuck on the gondola, all decked out in her snowboarding clothes, and they look like helmets, and they've got these great big alien screens. You can't even see each other. And the 2 of them, she got with a boy, a young man, and he was 17, and she's 16. And he's actually from California, Palm Springs. And she's right here. Hallelujah. Just far enough away. And it was just long enough time for him to get his phone out of his pocket and get her phone number. And I went,
Oh.
you can't get a boy's number.
Oh.
Like 8. And no, she's 16. And I loved how Kenny said, Mom, I am going to spend as much time as I can, like you did with us, to cheer her on and give her the confidence she needs so that she knows the direction and to stay on that direction. So it's really important.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, I
You know,
love that.
All right.
want to be adored, and they want to get your attention. And honestly, sometimes you're like, I don't want to reward this negative attention, but you can turn it around and it will make all the difference. When we blended the family, we had 11 children. I'll never forget when I'm sitting next to Mark and I'm thinking, oh gosh, I met him. I had the last seat on the airplane. And I just was on standby. And I knew as he was flirting with me, I thought, oh boy, he's going to ask for my number. What do I do? What do I do? I have 7 kids. Oh my gosh. Is he going to like me? Whatever. And we just flirted and everything. And sure enough, he said, I love your number. What have you got? Can I get your number? And I put up 7 fingers. And he said, what's that? And I said, well, that's the number of children I have. And he said, well, I have 4 and you have 7. That's 11. We can do it. We could do 11. That'd be great. And I knew right then, oh my gosh, he was the guy for me. From then on, it was awesome. But it wasn't awesome because we had a lot of conflict with exes. Both of us did because it was a second marriage for both of us. And it was like pulling taffy, kids going here and there. And then they played mom and dad against each other. And it was crazy. And Mark and I had to be strong in what our goals were. And we were not going to let any of the kids, all 11 of them, disrupt our relationship. That was the most important because they needed to know that mom and dad were on the same uh,
Team.
same team. I like that. Yeah. Okay. And those kids, it was a struggle. It still is. I mean, it's a struggle. And when they were little, they loved each other. Loved each other. When they started growing up, we had, like I said, the conflict and we had to work harder. And so just remember, mom and dad or mom is way more important than the conflict of the teens. The teens do not get to ruin and tear you apart.
Yeah, that's actually awesome advice. Whether you're a step parent or not, any conflict in your house cannot ruin your relationship. Like in the Bible too, it's God and then husband and wife, and then the kids.
Yep, you got it.
So that's super important.
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of moms need that permission of like you can put your relationship 1st.
Perfect.
You've been a biological mom, adoptive mom, stepmom, and mentor to thousands of women. Out of all those roles, which was the most challenging and why?
Oh, I think the 2 kids, the 2 teenagers that were adopted, that decided they wanted to go and explore the world. I mean, it ripped me inside because I had to set them free. And there is a scripture, I don't remember exactly how to quote it, but it is, have you cast your burdens unto the Lord? And I needed to figure out how to do that. And I would lay in bed worried and worried and worried. And I would say to myself, okay, Heavenly Father, how do I cast this over to you? How do I give it to you? Because I believe that we're supposed to do that. That's why we're here on this earth, is to learn how to become spiritual beings and to become strong enough to be able to rely on our loving Heavenly Father, that He's going to take care of things. And He did. You know, before we lost Alex, Alex was 31 and he was killed instantly in a motorcycle accident. And that was heartbreaking. But he was on the right path at 31, doing all the right things. And then having Daniela was my youngest adopted. She needed to go on a path to see what she wanted. And now she's here living with me, doing all the great things. She's clear. She's 34, almost 35. I can't believe that. And I'm so full of gratitude that she's choosing to live here with me.
Well, I'm crying because we are going through that right now with my husband's oldest daughter, who's 18, and she has decided that she doesn't want to live here and she wants to explore and learn her life. And it's so hard to not be like,
It is because
but don't do that,
yes.
And
Alex said,
It's her
I
journey,
want to
though.
explore
It's her
everything the
journey.
world can give me. And we're like, no, you don't.
There's bad things in the world.
We're your parents. And you know what's so bizarre? You have to think about all the children that was written all over in the scriptures. I mean, they're there for us so that we understand that, well, it started way back with Adam and Eve, and they had naughty children. And so, you know, you have to just cast your burdens. It's like,
we all have our own journey.
mm-hmm.
And if I think back to when I was 18, because I was a very headstrong, I'm going to do this.
She was a naughty teenager.
I was.
Oh.
If you tell me I can't do that, I'm going to do it. So as Caitlin, as your daughter, who she's steadfast, she wants to do what she's going to do. There's nothing stopping her. There's nothing stopping her. She's going to do her journey, and you just got to let her fall. Because that's how we learn in life. When we fall, that's when you fall, you get back up. And if you don't take those lessons, then you don't become who you're supposed to be. And I think, we don't want to let our kids fall, but that's part of their journey is to fall.
The building process.
Yeah, it is. And it cracks me up when I'm sitting in the airport, and because I have an opportunity to people watch, and it cracks me out how every child throws tantrums exactly the same way. They all know how to manipulate. It's the craziest thing. So you're not alone. Yep. Stacey, I'm not alone, but yeah, we are not alone.
You're never. No one's alone.
No
one's alone. DeAnne, I thank you for that advice, because I know I needed it, and a lot of other listeners probably related to you. But in 3 sentences or less, what advice would you give to moms listening right now who are just in the thick of being a mom? They're in the thick of life.
Do you know what? I love Mel Robbins saying, let it go, or let them. I love that. And then Mark had a friend, and he
I have it right here.
He's getting a book. Yeah. Mark has a friend that had a plaque on his desk that faced outward, and it said, "What can love do?" And every time I think about, yes, let them, but what can love do? And honestly, that's the greatest commandment. It's one of the greatest commandments, is to love one another as I have loved you. And we don't really know what that is because we weren't here on the earth at that time, but we can imagine, and we can reach out and just hold each other's hands and lift each other up. That's the key right there. It doesn't matter what you're wearing. It doesn't matter, whether you know how to put makeup on or not. I mean, you can get all of those things from other people. And I don't want anyone that is listening, to feel like that they're in a cocoon and that they don't have opportunities, because you guys are living in a day and age. Yes, it's tough. It's tough. But it's also really amazing. It's amazing. Everything that we need to do is on your phone. Seriously, we have a computer on our phone that is right here. And if we will use it for good, then you can get anything you want out of life. And we are often fearful that we're not doing it good enough. And I'm here to tell you, you are doing it good enough. Everything you do, you're doing good enough. Caitlin, you're doing amazing with your girls. I promise you that if you will just put love out there and not judge them for the whatever crazy things that they choose to do, because you guys, Alex got a tattoo on his arm. So of some saying. And Kenny, after he passed away, Kenny, our oldest, anyway, on the tattoo. So Kenny had gotten everybody a sweatshirt with all the tattoos that Alex had put on his body. And it's
Oh, I
so,
love that.
so cool. Anyway, he had this tattoo when he first got it done. You guys, it looks like a typewriter, okay? And you know, it's done so the person could read it. But it's uneven rows. It's almost a tattoo artist thinking. But you know, son, you have to look at that. He did have to look at that every day and see that. And he wish he had gotten a different one. It's okay. So we just loved him. And he got teased a lot by his brothers and sisters. Now, tell me again about this uneven tattoo that you had that has a saying on it.
I love it. I love it. We're going to move into a little, after being a mom comes the fun part, being a grandma.
Yeah.
Which I've heard is the best.
It's so much fun. It is. It's so much fun. And these grandkids give me life, honestly. I have 37 grandkids, and
Oh my God.
call me Magga, Magga. And because Hudson, the oldest, who's now 21, can you believe? And he he was a little dyslexic, and he would call pizza zip. And I babysat him, and he would come to me and say, "Come to me, Grandma," and he'd say, "Magga," and I go, "No, no, no, it's Grandma," and he'd go, "Magga," and I went, "Okay." So Amelia said, "He's the oldest; he gets to choose, so that's your name." So you know, I kind of wanted something else a little cuter, but everybody else says it's really fine.
Well,
And I love
Stacy's mom is MAGA too.
Yep.
You're kidding.
My son couldn't say grandma. He calls her Maga, so it was Maga and Paga.
Paga's
So
too.
yeah, Maga and Paga, and so he still calls her Maga. He's never called her grandma,
and he's a grown
and
guy.
yeah,
It's
so
cute.
yeah, he calls her Maga.
It's so
I love it.
That was before the MAGA movement, you know. It was like MAGA before the MAGA movement. My mom used to have a plate that said MAGA, and then we had to transfer plates for something, and they wouldn't let us transfer it, so she lost that plate. So I know.
You're not right. Yeah.
Well, it's probably in today's climate. It's probably better she's not driving around with that because you just never know.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, let's move into the grandmother. So LuLaRoe is named after your granddaughters, and now you're a grandmother many times over, 37 times over. How is MAGA DeAnne different from the young mom sewing skirts at until 2 a.m.?
You know what? The difference is that the finances are completely different.
Yeah.
And as you all know, when you have more money, then it takes a lot of certain stresses off the table. And it makes such a difference. You know, when I drive up, because my kids have called and said, "Hey, can you pick up the kids from school today?" And I drive up in my nice car, and the kids get in, and they know, oh, this is Magga's car. And they love getting in Magga's car because it's got all kinds of different, nooks and crannies in it. And anyway, and I love it. I love that I get to take them through a drive-through, and we get a snack, and we then go back home, or they beg to come here, especially if it's warmer weather, because they go, "Can you turn on the jacuzzi?" And it's, yes, we don't care what it costs. Turn on the jacuzzi. And it does, it makes such a difference. Last week I took my two oldest grandsons to just had to lunch, and almost Sloan is almost 18 and Hudson is 21. And I said, wherever you guys want to go, let's go get someplace where there's a lot of food. And so we went to a place called Divine, which is Mediterranean, and they serve amazing steak and a big pile of rice that they love and salad. And then we got the appetizers and everything. And I didn't eat hardly any of it. I mean, I ate, but not like those two boys.
Not
I
like
loved
growing men.
this. And then they left to go skiing, snowboarding. Oh gosh, I gotta get the right. They left to go snowboarding with Kenny, Uncle Kenny, and they needed gas money. So guess what? MAGA transferred money into their account because I can
Ooh.
and because I want to.
I'm impressed you know how to do that, because I
I
don't know how to do
know.
that.
I have to do that because I keep losing credit cards.
Mhm.
I give my kids debit cards and credit cards, and then, oh, sorry, Mom, I didn't realize it was in my wallet. And I'm like,
Mhm.
the family feud. Does anybody have this credit card? Who's got this? Is what it looks like. Sure enough, it's in
That's
some
funny.
jacket. Anyway, it's better to Venmo. I can Zelle, but I don't know how to do that yet. So
So I love that. I love that you get to spoil your grandkids.
yeah.
That's really fun.
Mm.
What is the most beautiful part of watching your children become parents? Because I can attest, your kids are good parents. And I've been at your house now with I think all 37. I think Hudson wasn't there. So 36 grandkids in the pool, running
Oh
around with
yes,
actually cousins. And there's probably about
it
60
was
kids there.
pandemonium.
And it was so fun.
Yes.
But what I noticed is your kids and your nieces and nephews are good parents. They're such great parents. So what's the most beautiful part of watching that?
I think first off, I think it's really important if you're religious, both parents have got to be on the same page. And they don't need to be the same religion, but I think religion helps a lot. Because me as a mother and Mark, we were parents that believed in family prayer and prayer over food and those kinds of things. And I think when you have a little bit of religion, it helps you to know guiding and directing, and it helps with helping your kids to solve problems, that they can get on their knees and say their prayers. So I really think, and they watched Mark and I love the saying that once we get married, we get to take all the best that we want from our family and bring it into the circle, like you did, Caitlin. And it's really, they're really good about knowing when to discipline and knowing when to just love them. And most of the time they love their kids, and they don't hardly have to discipline unless it's a persistent child. And I've watched them. They all have had persistent children. And that one child knows how to manipulate and everything.
Do they
And
come to you for advice?
they do. And
Because
they're
I know
like,
during teenage years, advice is hard. So it's nice to hear that when they're older, they come to you for advice.
oh yeah. Even now, it's like they'll call me and say, okay, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, you know what? First of all, just let them have their moment in their bedroom kicking, but they can't kick the furniture. They're not supposed to, destroy anything. And, kids can be naughty. They're naughty. I mean,
Yes, they
Stacey,
can.
I mean, I'm sure you had moments with your son.
Oh yeah,
Little,
just a few. He was pretty good.
yeah.
I got lucky. He's a very good son.
And
Only
it's
had a couple freak
okay
out
to
moments.
discipline your kids. They need
Yep,
guidance and
yep.
direction.
I agree.
Some of
I
these
agree.
parents are like, no, we're just not going to. Well,
I think they need to be a little bit scared of you. Just a
yes,
little bit
they
scared of
need
you.
a little bit of no. When I say no, that means no.
Yeah.
You're not throwing a tantrum at the restaurant. The discipline that's when you as a parent take your kids out and discipline them out there. So
My son saw me freak out one time. Caitlin knows that story of where I was with LuLaRoe, and I just finished a live sale, and I just by myself finishing a live sale, and he's like, "Well, you don't do much around here," and and
Meanwhile, she's a single mom paying for
yeah,
everything.
yeah, running a business.
yeah,
You know,
where do you think the
life
money
sales are
comes from?
exhausting. Yeah, and I just lost it, and I kicked his PlayStation that was going to be wrapped for a Christmas present, and I literally just kicked that box so hard, and he's like, "No, mom, no, mom, no, mom," and he's never forgot that, and he's a little scared of me because I'm like, don't don't make me do
Don't
a
make me
PlayStation
get to
moment.
that point. You know,
That was
there
the
and then
one time I
I go
think
here.
with him
Yeah,
that I went to that next level of crazy that we all have in
it's
us.
okay.
Sometimes they have to see it. They have to know it's there.
Yeah.
And Mark would always go, "Honey, it doesn't do any good when you do that." I go, "Oh yes, it does. It
It
feels
does.
really
It
good for
does.
me.
Yeah.
It makes me feel really."
We
See, but
all
men
have that next level of crazy, and I
men
think
have the
sometimes it has to show.
yeah,
Sometimes it
men
has to
have
show.
that dad voice
Yeah,
that just all they need is the
Yeah.
dad voice and the kids line up perfect. But
yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like women have to get a little crazy to get there.
yes.
Yeah.
Like we
Yeah.
can't just deepen our voice a little bit and they listen. Like
And
it
then
has to go to another level
they go,
sometimes.
"Why did you yell,
It's
Mom?
very
Why are you
effective. It's
yelling,
very
Mom?"
effective.
And it's like, "Because you didn't do what I asked you to do. That's
It's
why."
very effective.
So let's work it out. Anyway, thank heaven they start to get
It's not my proudest mom moment, but
Yeah,
it's effective for the rest of his life. So I think it was worth it.
it was profound.
Well, and it's good for his wife too. So when she loses it one day, he's gonna think it's normal.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Just one of those
Yeah,
moments.
yeah.
Okay.
Moments.
My mom's been there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love it.
Okay. What's the hardest part watching your grandchildren struggle through challenges you've already lived, or even your children?
We're not there yet. There's still, I mean, honestly, we have 21, 18, two 16-year-olds coming up, and then we have one almost 15 in next September, and then two 13-year-olds. And then there's a break, and then there's a slew of kids, 8 and under. I mean, there's a slew.
So
9
so
and
at
under.
Christmas, do you get all your grandkids presents?
I do. I get them all.
Wow,
It is
that's a big
crazy.
Christmas list.
There's a budget. They send me the link. I spend all my time loving shopping on my phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because I have done going out and shopping in the stores and watched women fighting over toys, that where I'm like, oh no, let me just order it online.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, but I don't give money. I just tell them, I'm sorry, I don't give money. I don't buy games for children. Unless it's like baseball
Mhm.
or
Yeah.
soccer balls and stuff like that. But I don't do video games. And that's about it. I mean, I've bought bicycles. I've bought, on Facebook Market for grandchildren that wanted a motorcycle. I've helped them get that and help their parents, but yeah.
That's fun. Do you wrap it all yourself?
No.
That's the one thing that I have learned as a newer stepmom.
Hire someone to do it.
Wrapping is a lot.
Oh.
That is stressful.
And they want the presents wrapped. They don't want you to lay it out. And
I hate wrapping.
With my mother, who had 11 children, she laid out as if Santa Claus had just spread everything out. And that was great. But it was still way more fun. Okay, when do we get to open the presents? And so Mom opened the present. She too had people from catering in the catering business and offices that came and helped wrap presents.
Yeah, it's a great go on your neighborhood development and say, is there any teenager that wants to make $50 and wrap all my Christmas presents?
Yes.
Like, that's actually super smart.
And with
all right.
ribbon now, you can make bows. You can even just crinkle it up and it looks good.
Oh, yeah. And they even have nice gift bags. There's a lot of options.
A lot.
Okay, so DeAnne, you have built a community of tens of thousands of women who also see you as a maternal figure. How do you balance being a mentor without crossing into motherhood, like without taking away from your own kids, mentoring other women? And what is the most rewarding part of watching those women grow?
It's really, really tender for me to watch all of these amazing human beings that are rock stars that excel. They choose to excel in moments that, you know what I mean? I know, Stacy, and you set goals and then you reach another goal and another goal. And for me, at the age that I am, I get to cheer all these women on to say that they can do hard things and the reward is right there. I mean, for those that work it, you know, and people can't just start a business and expect it to just grow unless they grow with it and they do the hard things. They put every step into place. For me, I love watching all these women. We've had women that come in to LuLaRoe that have been ER nurses, and they love doing LuLaRoe at night because it's fun, it's lighthearted, it's not stressful on them. We've had women that are in the military and they will go out onto their military deployments. So I've seen women that leave their merchandise, they'll go out on deployment, and sometimes it's for a couple of weeks, sometimes it's longer. They come back, and that's their fun. They love, they'll take it to events, art shows or craft fairs or, street fairs. And they get to have a different conversation with other people. And I love watching the success in them because they have taken advice from me, like you said, Caitlin, and it brings my heart so much joy because I'm like, okay, what can I do to offer others? And all I can do is share my life and my story with other women to say, if you want it, you can go out and get it. And honestly, I have to put a limit on, but I watch reels and they know me now. I didn't know this. It's algorithms, mom. They know what you're looking for. I'm like, well, it's a good thing because then I don't have to search for it. But they know what I'm like. And I am not kidding you. I say so many things because they're profound. People do the most amazing things. And if we'll just look at the positivity, I think that we can get through the tough times. There's always going to be tough times. I don't like that at all. I don't like it. No, 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 no. Dear Heavenly Father, don't give me tough times. But I also reach for all the good times.
So you started selling dresses out of your trunk while raising 7 children as a single mom. Looking back, was the business an escape from the chaos or the only way to sustain it?
It was purely to bring more money into the family. And my money was for fun. So
Yeah.
camping, motorhomes, buy new snowboards for the kids, motorcycles, whatever, drums. One kid wanted to play drums, and that was a really great asset. Made me crazy, but it was awesome. And I took my kids with me because I started doing it when my kids were in high school, junior high and high school. And I would take a child or two with me so that they didn't feel like mom was leaving them. I left and went on the road. I was doing 3 pop ups a day, and I would travel to Arizona from California, come back after doing 15 pop ups a week. And then I'd reload up all my merchandise and drive 10 hours up to Utah and start it all over again. And then come back, I would go to Las Vegas, then come back. And then I even went up to Central California. And I thought to myself, man, if people are asking and they are willing to help me sell, they were going to invite their people over, and we did pop-ups, purely pop-ups in people's homes, and we made it so fun that people did not want to miss it. I turned on music, I brought refreshments, and I even put out a spread of jewelry on the table. That got real. I stopped that right away because it was like, this is too much work, you know.
Did the kids have fun doing those? Did they like doing them, or did you
They
like
loved
pull them to
it
go?
because, oh my gosh, one of my kids, who's still working with us right now. He would count the money that was in the till at the end of the day, and that was his favorite thing. And I'm like, I never even worried about it. Go put it in the bag and put it in the safe where I was staying. And then the next day, that till would fill right up, and he just couldn't believe it. Mom, look how much money we made. And I'm like, I know. Look at all the hard work we did. That's what you do. You roll up your
I love it.
sleeves and you make it happen.
That kind of rolls into our next question of, when you were doing all this, did you let the kids in on your financial situations at the time? And what do you think kids gain from watching their mom build something from scratch and like knowing a little bit, counting the money and seeing what comes in?
Well, first, I think it taught them a lot about self-esteem, and they learned self-esteem by performing on stage when I had the children's singing group. And I did that children's singing group for probably 15 years. And then they watched me do children's little girls' dress parties. And watching that, they watched how I talked to the customers. They watched how to be more cordial and to be more professional and to talk nice and be willing to go give good customer service by looking for something on a rack. And they watched me do it. And, I'm big on expecting my children to have poise and to have manners and to have etiquette. And that's really important to me because how to, it will teach them how to get more out of life. Nobody likes someone that's rude or abrupt or, that cuts you off. It's really important.
I love that.
So many of your children and extended family hold leadership roles in LuLaRoe. How do you maintain the mom boundary when you're also the boss? And to be honest, have you ever wanted to send a C-suite executive to their room?
Oh, all the time. Because they come to me with these ideas and we try them and like, it's not working. I got to go tell this child that we're not doing that anymore. No, we're not doing that. It's not working. And what's interesting is that now I'm the CEO. I thought I was, I guess Mark would always say that I am the CEO, but I never played that role. But now I really am. And it's a whole different ball game. How our employees are treating me, coming to me because I'm the final say now. Um, and I like that. Not that they're doing anything wrong, but I really feel like that we as a company are getting closer and closer together as one, better and better at it. So it makes it better. But I don't really have to send them to the room, but we're like, we've got to make this happen. So
I love that. So you have built this brand celebrating women while living a very real and messy motherhood behind the scenes. You live a real life. How did you handle the pressure of public life on Instagram and in this perfect parenting, perfect world culture, but also just allow your family to be your actual family?
well, I social media is terrible because of the trolls. I just feel like if people are going to be trolls, then you need to be shamed. Shame on you. It's not right. Nobody likes that. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to be talked to as if they are not important. And so you have to treat the trolls and you don't feed them. You just ignore them. And then when you can, go in there and block them. Okay. They're there just like they were with Taylor Swift and, so many other stars. Um, I think back in the day, poor Marilyn Monroe and some other stars that I can't come to my Doris Day. I don't know. I'm an old lady. Those were my mom's people. I think that they had a hard time. I mean, for the most part, I think the Beatles got a lot of shame and because they had parents of the kids that liked those raggedy haired boys that were playing music, you know? And so it's really, really good for us to think about all the good that we can do and not concentrate on those trolls that hurt us, because they can. And I let them hurt me. And now it's like, oh, that, that was then, you know?
Yeah.
It's all fake. It's all fake news.
Mhm.
Those trolls.
It really is. It's hilarious.
If
During
they're
the
talking about you, you're doing something good.
Yep.
Yes.
During the hardest season of the business, how did you protect your children and grandchildren's peace at home while still leading through the storm?
You know, gathering together, we went out to dinner a lot,
Yeah.
and the kids all loved it. They got to watch as things unfolded with the business, and they were in photo shoots, and I gathered them all together and said, hey, this is what we do, that we do this together. And we still remind them over and over, especially the teenagers here. It's like they're getting more and more excited about all the styles that we're launching. And oh, now grandma has style, you know.
Grandma's
I
always
will
had style.
Yeah.
I brought Will's 16-year-old. She did takeovers with me this weekend.
Oh, good.
And the cozy set, she said, do you think you could get one of those in an extra small for me? Because I really love that. And I was like, of course she picked the color that's the hardest to find. And I was like,
Of course.
What color?
I will try. But I was impressed that she really liked it. She was like, I just feel like on testing days, that would be very comfortable.
Oh,
Like,
good for
you're right.
her.
But it made me excited because I was like, ooh, she wants LuLaRoe.
Mhm.
Ooh.
I'm cool. Yep.
That's right. I
Yes.
am cool.
Yes. And it's free to them. I mean, I don't have to go to the store and get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. If all the titles were stripped away, CEO, founder, leader, what do you hope that your children and grandchildren say first when they describe who you really are?
MAGA was amazing. She was sharp. She made magic happen. She wanted everybody to love each other, and she expected a hierarchy of excellence in a good way. And MAGA believed in us. MAGA wanted only the best. And if we're not the best, it's okay, because we love each other no matter what. And to me, that is really, really important. And in this next phase of life, it's really been interesting for me to try to navigate it. But you know what? They're all there. They come over, they run up to my bedroom, and they check on me, and they want to make sure. The best thing is that White Line Ice Cream has these oatmeal chocolate chip cookies. And now they know that MAGA wants 4 of them every couple of days because they make me happy. And they bring me cookies, and it's a wonderful thing.
Okay, we're going to go to our final segment, which is our rapid fire, which we ask you a question. It's just first one word, and you tell us what comes to mind, and then we'll end with one question,
Okay.
and then we're done. We're done. Okay, well, I'll start, and then just what comes to mind. What's your number one secret for getting 14 kids to the dinner table?
Oh, I just start telling them that they're going to miss out on food.
Okay.
My dad used to get a pan, and we would bang the pan with a wooden spoon. I have done that
Okay.
many a time.
Is 14 kids too many?
No. Nope, not at all.
Which child was the most immune to your, business voice?
To my what?
Business voice. Your,
You're like,
business. Business voice.
Oh, Jordan.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Which child is the most like you?
Nicole.
Who is the hard? Nicole. Yeah. Who is the hardest to teach to drive?
To drive? Probably Alex. Because Alex was the one that just did not want to listen to direction. No, I can do it. You know, remember that toddler that goes, I do it. Well, he got to be 16 and he still wanted to, I do it. But he was a crazy driver.
What is the hardest age to parent?
Oh gosh, just the other night I had a list of children that I was parenting. Oh,
So all of the
And
above.
how old is your youngest now?
34,
30,
almost 35. Well,
34, 34.
no. The stepdaughter who just had her third baby in 3 years. She's cute and she's just such a rock star. And she's just like, bring it on. I'm ready for it. She married late in the church, in our church. Getting married at 28 is
That's
old.
old. That's
Yes.
old. That's
Yep.
pretty old.
So she was like,
Yep.
bring me. I gotta get my
Bang,
baby.
bang, bang.
Yeah. So I think she's gonna take a break, but
Yeah, it's a good.
she is
Her uterus
81.
agrees.
Yeah, she's
Her
81.
uterus agrees. Take a break.
Yeah,
Okay, what's the most expensive age?
teenagers. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
like 17 and 18.
Where was your secret hiding spot when you needed just 5 minutes alone?
On the floor of my closet.
A legging.
Closet.
All right, this one's a big one. I think I know what you're gonna say.
Okay.
Leggings or maxi skirt? What's the official mom uniform? Leggings or maxi skirt?
Oh, maxi skirt.
I knew she'd say that. I knew she'd say that.
Because it's so comfortable. You can dress it up, dress it down. Yeah.
I love it. What is one meal that all 14 of your kids agreed on?
I would say spaghetti casserole. Because I can make it and throw it in the oven, and they loved it.
What one mom/business task you would never outsource?
Laying with my children and taking time to listen to them. And I would never outsource driving my children to school. That is my privilege, my time with my kids, and then my teenagers before they could drive was so precious.
Yeah.
Sending them off to be with other drivers. I did that maybe one or two times, but then when I realized how precious it was that I had that only time with them until, I tell my kids right now, take this time before they get their license, because they will want to run errands for you, which is really awesome, but you lose that precious time with them.
Yeah, that was actually my favorite thing when I married Will and came into the house. I would drive the younger one to school in the morning, and when she got her license, I was so sad.
No, it's so sad.
I loved it.
I got to do that too when my son was 12, and until he started driving, and I got to do that because of LuLaRoe. Because of LuLaRoe.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I love that. Okay, what's an easy fashion tip for moms to feel better when they leave the house?
Lipstick and jewelry. And zhuzh your hair.
All right.
Watch my kids they'll just take their fingers and throw it through their hair. Cassie's Jordan's wife met us for dinner, and we had all gone and had a massage. Well, of course, our heads were massaged, and so our hair was just really full. And so Cassie sits down at the restaurant, and all she kept doing was fluffing her hair out. Finally, I said to her, I was sitting across from her, I said, "What are you doing?" She goes, "Well, I'm zhuzhing my hair. You guys all look so glamorous." And I thought, well, that's an easy thing to do. She looked great, too.
All right, our final rapid fire. One word to describe your parenting journey.
Wonderful. I'd say wonderful.
I love that.
I love that. Every mother had a good attitude about parenting and not say, "Oh my gosh, I have 4 too many." I had a friend that would say, when people would ask her, how many kids does she have? 4 too many. And I finally said to her, you have to stop. That is so negative. No, it's not. It's funny. No, it's not. Your kids will then feel like they're not important. And you say, you were chosen. You were chosen and perfect. In fact, my youngest adopted, who's 35, almost 35, living with me, asked me the other day, "Mom, am I at the same level as the other kids in the trust?" And I'm like, "Yes, why would you say that?" And, 35 and still needs that reassurance. So, kids want to know they're valuable, that they're valued on this earth, but most importantly in your family.
I love that. I love that. Well, DeAnne, we asked this question to all of our guests. As you know, our podcast is called Glow Up and Grow Up. But what is one of your lowest rock bottom moments that actually became the spark for your biggest glow up that led you to where you're at today?
Going through a divorce, I think that was one of the lowest parts of my life, because I'd already adopted the kids. I got through that I felt like that was a hurdle. Okay. It's a hurdle. A hurdle isn't a bad word. It's just something that we get over. Okay. We have to go, okay, now I have to get higher and now I have to get higher. And I had a friend that had a daughter that was a pole vaulter, and her goal was to get higher. And that's kind of how I feel like life is for, especially for women. And for me, I will tell you that the darkest moment was I was a single mother with 7 little children. I was the sole provider. Um, I was only doing dress parties twice a year. So there was 8 months that I didn't have anything, that I needed to figure out where am I going to get more money. And so I did. I joined a network marketing company that sold uh, protein drinks, and they even made toothpaste and protein bars and whatever else. The list was pretty good, and I did really, really well with it because I could go out and do it while my kids were at school. And then I would come home and the kids would go, "Mom, how'd you do? How'd you do?" They were so interested in my success. And then they knew between 7 and 9 at night, after I got dinner and spent time with them and gave them what they needed. And I told the older kids, "You're taking care of the younger kids so that mom doesn't get interruptions." And I would shut the door with a note on the back side of the door that said, "Do not interrupt mom unless you are bleeding or serious." And because they would knock on the door, "He's teasing me. He's bugging me. What? Tell her she took my socks." Oh my gosh. It was like, guys, mom's trying to do this. And I figured they can handle 2 hours at night. And kids need to know when mom is working, and that is okay. And when dad is working, dad is working. And then we come together because it's a family thing. So
All right.
the divorce,
DeAnne,
yeah, hard.
DeAnne, yeah, it is. I went through a divorce. It is the toughest thing
Yeah,
because it doesn't work out like you thought it would.
I
It's
know.
terrible.
And you're like, I want this and this and this. And
But if you look back, it's part of the journey.
it is part of the journey. Yes. I like the journey better than that hurdle. Hurdle
Yeah, it's
kind
the
of
journey.
sounds a little
Yeah.
negative. Let's go to the journey.
So, DeAnne, thank you for sharing your heart so openly.
Thank you.
Yeah, this conversation is such a reminder that success looks different in every season,
Yeah.
and motherhood is never, ever one size fits all.
No.
Nope. So, if this episode spoke to you, share it with a mom who needs encouragement today.
And
And
don't
I'll say, and I was gonna say, sorry, Caitlin, I was gonna say, and you got to get up and put your lipstick on, like DeAnne says.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's
That is right.
very
Don't forget
important.
to,
Yeah.
what was that, DeAnne?
You all look so good. What? I said, you all look so fabulous with your lipstick on.
Yes.
Well, thank you. But don't forget to follow us on Instagram or TikTok and hang out with us in the lounge, our Facebook community. And we'll put DeAnne's TikTok or DeAnne's Instagram in our show notes. So that way you can go follow her too. But we're just so thankful for you, DeAnne. This was an awesome topic, and motherhood is something I feel like a lot of people struggle with because they always want to feel like a good mom, and sometimes you feel like you're not. So I think that
A
all of
lot
the
of
nuggets
times
that you've
you
given
feel
today
like
are
you're
great.
not. It
Yeah.
is. Especially
Yeah.
when you've got multiples, more than one. You get two, there's conflicts that can happen, and 3, 4, and I just kept gathering children.
Well, I love that.
Yeah, and I'll just, I just want to say I'm thankful for LuLaRoe. What a journey. I was there 8 years, and it just
Oh,
gave me
I
so
loved
much
it.
freedom. I
Yes.
loved it. It was a great time. I've never had anything bad to say about LuLaRoe. I love your family. I love LuLaRoe. I love the company, and I just love it. There's nothing. It was such a great time in my life, and
So many great memories
yeah,
and
so many.
continuing to do that. And so I appreciate you because Stacy, look at you. You're just awesome. And I'm proud of
She's
you.
thriving.
Yeah,
And DeAnne, I'll
Yes.
see you in Puerto Rico.
I
Oh,
I
yeah.
cannot
know.
wait.
I'm jealous. You two girls get to go to Puerto Rico. I'm stuck here in Vegas.
Monday, I'm going Monday next
Well,
month. So excited.
Well, thank you
I'll
for
see you there.
thank you for
Love
joining
you.
us and listening in. And next week will be our season finale for everyone listening, and we'll see you then.
All right. I
Yeah.
can't
Bye,
wait.
guys.
Bye.